Hey everybody, Jonathan here, and I've got my Indiana Jones collection right here behind me. It's been a little while since I've done an update on the Indiana Jones collection, and I thought today would be a perfect opportunity to do just that. As you guys know, I have a complete collection of everything LEGO Indiana Jones that has ever come out, in addition to old Kenner toys, magazines, rare stuff, autographs. It's going to be so much fun to walk through all of it with you today, so I wish you some fortune and glory, and let's take a look at all the rare stuff I've collected over the years. So as you can see, from action figures to prop replicas to Lego sets, magazines, and more, there is an absolute ton to look at here, and I'm really excited. So one of my more recent acquisitions here is the Indiana Jones IHOP menu from the Great Circle. With all of that, I made a video testing everything on the menu. My friend Michael got me this really cool plane, which is there. This is my mock of the Temple of Doom using only pieces from the Temple of Doom, which was pretty fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. It also meshes some pieces from the set like this, the Temple of the Golden Idol. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here, but as far as the Lego stuff goes, every single Lego piece in this collection, as far as the sets go, have their own individual videos made on them. So if you want to see anything up close, you certainly can look those up. This is an original European variant box of the Temple set from, or I guess the Lost Tomb rather, from 2008. I recently discovered this. I got my dad this Father's Day card back in 2008. There's my signature from when I was a kid growing up. And really cool to add something special like that to the collection now. My dad kept it all these years. How cool is that? Now, this one is pretty cool. This was designed by Tiranov, a Lego mock enthusiast online, and this is a mock recreation of the canceled Temple of Doom set. Of course, we'll never know exactly what that looked like, but this is a really, really cool one, and basically a canceled Lego set, if you will. Again, definitely check out the video on that if you'd like. This is one of my more recent acquisitions. This is the 1982 Desert Convoy truck from Raiders of the Lost Ark. As you can see, there's an Indy figure inside. He didn't come in there, but just to show you like what this was to scale with, and that goes with all the Kenner figures, which are up there, which we will look at very soon. The Lego set underneath is the Escape from the Lost Tomb from 2023. It's autographed by Sala himself, John Rhys-Davies, the actor that played Sala, and Gimli from Lord of the Rings, who's a friend of mine, and he autographed it and put "They're digging in the wrong place" written on there too. John's an amazing friend, and you'll see lots of cool things from him throughout this collection. I also have the instruction booklet autographed by Atticus Cy McCarthy, who is a Lego designer, and he actually designed this very set, so that's really cool too. Back here, we've got a glass that's been retired for quite some time from Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar at Disney Springs. If you don't know, this is the Indiana Jones-themed bar restaurant that you could definitely go check out. Highly recommended. I've made videos about going there, so you can check that out for sure. This is my mock of The Last Crusade, Temple of the Holy Grail. Really fun build. Absolutely love that one. Now we're getting into the smaller, rarer stuff. This is a spoon from Crystal Skull that came in like Kellogg's cereal. This is really cool. I can't flip it over because it has my game code on the back, but this is the relic from the Great Circle. If you've played the game, you know what this is. If not, certainly don't want to spoil it. This is really cool. This is a Lego Indiana Jones stylus for the Nintendo DS from the 2008 game. So there's the stylus there, and that's really cool. We'll actually move down here and take a look at the Adventure series. This is a 6-inch scale action figure collection made by Hasbro in 2023. This is the entire complete collection of everybody. So I've kind of put the Indiana Jones figures in chronological order of appearance. It's not 100% accurate, but it's as close as I can get while having everything displayed nice. I love so many of the cool little details that the different figures came with. Then I put the side characters and villains hanging out in the back. Of course, there's some heroes over there too, and I kept all the boxes because I love the art on those. Despite the fact that I wish that they had windows on the packaging, I still like the art on the boxes, and that's really cool. Over here, I've got some sealed Lego sets. Of course, I've got them loose as well, but that is Shanghai Chase, the Streets of Cairo set there. Then, of course, we've got the Venice Canal Chase sealed, as well as the Indy Motorcycle Chase sealed. Back there, this is exceptionally rare. This is a sealed copy of the Indie Legend kit. You'll see that it's yellowed pretty bad because the plastic quality on it is awful, but there's a sticker in there that you could put on your Nintendo DS, the same stylus we looked at up here, as well as a green case, and I've also got that loose over there. There's the sticker and everything. It's easy to get ahead of myself because there's so much to look at here. Back here, this is one of the figures from Disney World years ago. Kind of cool. These are replica papers breaking down the findings of the Crystal Skull and the Ark of the Covenant. Pretty awesome there. Over here, we've got all of my indie paper stuff. So this is an original January 2008 Lego magazine advertising the new Indiana Jones sets for the year. Very, very rare and hard to come by today. Even more rare is the late spring version. This was a smaller magazine, and unfortunately it's kind of ripped, but it is really cool. You can see that there. I'm not going to open it up because it's ripped, but I've literally never seen another one of these out on the market. We also have the Lego Club magazine with the Indiana Jones cover, C-3PO hanging out over there. Then just some random like paperback books and stuff that I've found over the years. A Last Crusade book. This one's pretty cool. This is a British magazine of Games Master. This actually was supposed to come with a sticker sheet, but I've never found one with the sticker sheet in it. Got the Rolling Stone for Raiders of the Lost Ark back there. A promotional copy of the video game from 2008, which is pretty cool. Then as we move over here, this is one of my favorite pieces in my entire collection. Not because it's rare or anything, I just carried this with me everywhere as a kid. It's Indiana Jones's actual journal, and it has all kinds of stuff referencing the young Indiana Jones adventures and all kinds of great stuff. I might do a read-through of this on the channel. If you guys are interested in that, let me know, but it's written from Indiana Jones' perspective about all his adventures. Now over here, I've got some Indiana Jones comic books I've picked up kind of recently. I've been getting into comic book collecting. These have been really fun to add to the collection. Okay, now we're getting into the Lego stuff. This is a card that I got last year from a friend. This is the Adventure Kit. Basically the same thing that we looked at for the Nintendo DS before, but this one is for the PSP. I don't know if I've ever seen another sealed one of this. Really, really cool. Got the game covers there. The cloth looks absolutely amazing. Here we have the Escape from the Lost Tomb. It's just the regular set. You'll see there are some customs sprinkled in through here, mostly from Scotty Customs over on Instagram. This was my original map room mock. I have a new one that we'll look at. This is the original Escape from the Lost Tomb from 2008. We've got the armor case, Nintendo DS case back there. Here we have the large Brickmaster polybag, which is really cool, very rare. We'll talk about that again in just a little bit. And here is a sealed Indiana Jones figure, basically the one that we looked at way over there, but this one is sealed in the original packaging. Been retired for quite some time, so that's cool. Here we have another Nintendo DS case. This one is loose. I do have another one sealed that we'll see, but those are actual individual Lego tiles that you can mix and match on the cover, so that's pretty cool. And it's from Temple of Doom, so I think that's really awesome as well. Here we've got the Battle on the Flying Wing set, all kinds of Crystal Skull sets over here, as well as the Raiders Race for the Stolen Treasure. These are really cool, the micro action play sets. These were exclusive to Disney World back in the day. Very rare to find those in their sealed packaging, so I dig those quite a bit. This is my original copy of the Indiana Jones Original Adventures Lego video game from 2008. That's the one I played basically my whole life. Got some Raiders of the Lost Ark stickers sealed over here. Then we've got more Lego sets. Remember, I've got reviews for all of these on the channel if you want to see any of those more up to date and up close. Then, moving up to the top shelf, we've got more Indiana Jones Lego sets, an autograph from Miss Karen Allen, Marion Ravenwood from the films, gotta love that. Then we've got coasters, and we could flip all of these coasters over to see that they are from Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar at Disney Springs. There was a Club Obi-Wan one, but they stopped making that years ago, and I have yet to get one, sadly. This was a Comic-Con exclusive, I believe, from one of the vendors there. They did Lao She Air Freight pins, and they did stickers. I didn't get the pin, but I did get the sticker, which is quite cool. Over here, we have the Raiders of the Lost Ark retro figures that came out in 2023, as well as the other figures, like the Last Crusade and Temple of Doom ones, that they made all in their original packaging. I also have them loose. We'll look at those in a bit. Now, this is very cool. As far as I know, this is the only one in the world, and it is an Indiana Jones disc. You can see it's like on foam with plastic on the front. This was from a Lego store in England, and my friend Fred got this when the store was tearing down their display in 2008, and he held onto it for years and years and years, and he gave it to me several years ago. He also gave me something else quite cool, and we'll look at that when we head to another room, because believe it or not, I can't fit all my Indiana Jones stuff here. So this is a display from the Lego store in 2008, one of the only ones in the world, if not the only one that survived. So that's pretty cool. I've got some sealed Raiders of the Lost Ark trading card packs here, which are quite awesome. This is very cool. Never seen another one of these. This is a Simba Indiana Jones adventure card from Disneyland. Basically, you are given this if you're a kid and you're not tall enough to ride the ride yet, and then you bring it back when you are tall enough, years later. So last time I was at Disneyland, I just asked them if they had any of the decoder cards, which we'll look at, and they happened to hand me one of these too. So I've never seen another one, and that's pretty cool. Here we have the Traveler's Tales Video Game Developer Awards. Anybody that worked on Traveler's Tale Lego games would get these acrylic bricks. Here we have the Acrylic Brick Video Game Award from Traveler's Tales. Any employee that worked for Traveler's Tales and worked on a Lego video game would get the opportunity to get one of these. And I have one for the Indiana Jones Original Adventures game and The Adventure Continues, the Indiana Jones 2 video game for Spalco. There is one more out there that has the Crystal Skull inside, but unfortunately, I don't have that one yet. This is a cool pin announcing that the Joneses are coming with Indy and his dad on the motorcycles, which is awesome. And then this is the decoder card from Disneyland that I mentioned before. If you've been on the ride, you know that as you're going through the ride queue, there's like an archaeological dig that you walk through, and Sala is there telling you to keep your hands and arms inside the vehicles. And he also tells you, whatever you do not look into the eyes of Mara. So John Rhys-Davies, my good friend, autographed this card for me and put that quote on there as well. What a cool guy. This is a relatively recent addition. This is the globe from the Great Circle. It's actually really cool because we get a magnetic plane up top, and then when we put the plane right here, it opens the globe, and inside is the journal that Marion gives to Indy. Inside, we've got Marion's note for your next adventure, which we see at the beginning of the game, which is such a cool inclusion and definitely a very cool thing for the collector's edition of the Great Circle. Okay, back to the shelves. I've got these really cool 7-Up glasses with Mala Ram on one and Indian Short Round with the spikes on the other. Over here, this is a Kenner Indiana Jones Map Room Adventure set that is all sealed in its original casing. The tape has come off, but if we were to open it up, all the bags are inside, and that is incredibly cool. This is a custom case that I got. Well, the case is actually from Michaels, believe it or not, but the backing with all the, design and writing on it, that was made by a gentleman on Facebook. I cannot remember his name, but if somebody's really interested, drop a comment and I can research it and find a link. Back here, we have these really cool records. So it's like a book, and when you would put the 45 record on a record player, you could read along with the movie and music, and that's really cool. Now, these are all my prop replicas. We've got the Crystal Skull here, which is a Disney Parks exclusive, and as you can see, it lights up. So this is really cool. I've wanted this for years and finally got it this past fall. Here we have a Last Crusade cup. Love this one here. Check this out. We've got all the Indiana Jones game details. I think this was from Pizza Hut, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm probably mistaken. I'll set that aside for just a second so we can take a look at the monkey glass here, which of course comes from Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar. This has been retired for quite some time and is a pretty rare and valuable piece now. There are some little trinkets here, like this is the G.I. Joe hat. Oops. I'm just like Indy losing the hat. This is the G.I. Joe hat from the Epic Stunt Spectacular figure. I had it as a kid, but sadly lost it to time. Here we have the Urn of Narachi from the beginning of Temple of Doom. This is what he's, bargaining with Lao She for. And, of course, a replica of the Holy Grail. I chose wisely the day I bought that one. Okay, here we've got some really rare figures. Now, this is the LJN Indiana Jones and the Thuggy from the Temple of Doom. Sadly, I've not tracked down Mola Ram yet, but to have Indiana Jones complete with the hat, the machete, the whip, and the satchel, and in nice condition, is really, really rare, so that's awesome. This is quite possibly my favorite piece in my action figure collection, and this is a sealed, mint-on-card, never-opened 1982 Indiana Jones figure. One of my holy grail figures I wanted my whole life and finally got it about 2 years ago. Over here, we've got the same deal, figures that are on their original card, never opened, of Tote and the Cairo Swordsman. There are several more for me to collect, but it's kind of fun to take my time getting there. We've got some trading cards. This one's autographed by John Hurt, who played Oxley in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I actually got that from a pack of cards when I was a kid. My friend Mike gifted me these cards for my birthday several years ago. This is the ceremonial Belloc in the original baggie. Holy cow, that's so cool. This was the mail-away figure that was advertised on the front. So if you bought 3 Raiders of the Lost figures and mailed away, you would get mailed this incredibly cool piece. Here we have an Indiana Jones patch from AMC Theaters when Dial of Destiny came out. Then as we move down, you can see I've got my Great Circle Collector's Edition back there. My newer mock of the map room from Raiders. Of course, I had to put this here. This is my Eye of the Peacock, which of course is the medallion that Marion has in the film, and I thought that it would go really well between these two, which is my expanded mock of the Raiders of the Lost Ark, home of the Ark of the Covenant. So really, really cool. Again, I've got videos on all this stuff individually if you want to see them in more detail. Here we have the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which is one of my favorite Indiana Jones sets for all its detail. I also have this mock here. I do not remember who made these custom printed tiles. I do know I made a video of it back in the day, I believe. And this, of course, is from the video game, so I built the mock around it, but the tiles are custom printed. Speaking of custom, this is a recreation of the Indiana Jones Transformation Chamber, which was a Toy Fair exclusive, limited to only 100, where you could flip it around and have Indy on one side and Han Solo on the other. So that is very rare, considering there's only 100, so I went ahead and made my own. Now we're nearing the end. We've got some Kingdom of the Crystal Skull sets down here, as well as the Nintendo DS trifold case. Really, really cool. Love that in its original packaging. Moving up, we've got many of the keychains. Not quite all of them, but what a lot of people don't know is there were packaging variants where some had the branded Indiana Jones paper on it, and others had just the gray silver one. So I am trying to collect all the variants, naturally, and that's what I've got so far. Moving up one more, we've got a Disney pin here that I got at the Burbank lot in California when I visited Disney HQ. This was a Burger King employee exclusive bobblehead in 2008. You'll see it's branded to Indiana Jones when they were doing the toys, and this is just for Burger King executives. Back there, we've got the Applebee's menu from the Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny promo in 2023. This is absolutely one of the rarest pieces in my collection and one I never thought I would own. The San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Indiana Jones set. Now, we saw this on display. It's actually down here, the set itself, and there were no exclusive pieces or anything in the set. What is exclusive is the box, limited to 1 of 500. I have number 296. It's actually written on both sides, crazy enough, and truly one of my favorite things in my entire collection. Okay, back here we've got the Indiana Jones Lego magnets in their original packaging. There were 2 versions, one for the original films and one for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Over here we've got my favorite set of all time, the Temple of the Golden Idol. I just love this set. It is my favorite Lego set ever. This is really cool. A friend named Andrew actually sold this to me. He was in the Boy Scouts years ago. Well, I guess you're always a Boy Scout, but when he was in the Boy Scouts back in the day, he got this Indiana Jones Quest for Adventure Lego patch, which is quite cool. And thankfully, he sold it to me, and I told him it belongs in a museum, and it will always be in my collection for that reason. So that's incredibly cool. We've got these Indiana Jones promo bricks, one from Legoland, California, one from Legoland Windsor in the UK, so that's really cool. And then I saved the best for last as far as the toy shelves go, in my opinion. These are the original Kenner Indiana Jones action figures from 1982. We have the Well of Souls playset with all the snakes and the Ark of the Covenant. We've got the original horse there with Indy from Last Crusade riding him from the, remake wave. Check out this. This is the cover that goes over the Ark of the Covenant, and you've got the C-3PO, R2-D2, and Princess Leia hieroglyph on there, which is quite cool. Gotta love having that piece there. Then, of course, we've got all the action figures there, like Marion in the back, an original one, very rare. Sala, the original Indiana Jones with no broken thumb, the original gun, and the whip, which is incredibly cool. Really, the only main thing I'm missing now is the Streets of Cairo, which ironically I have the box for, but the only other piece I have from that playset is this Marion that would go in the basket. So I do have to still track that down, but hey, it's still fun to have something out there to collect. I've also got the 12-inch Harrison Ford Indiana Jones action figure in the back, sealed in the original packaging, as well as the Lego Indiana Jones Hero Pack, exclusive to Toys R Us, with an exclusive t-shirt and gamer guide inside. Now, there are a few more pieces that I have that I'd love to show you that are not on display here, but overall, that is the collection so far. So much fun, and there's still more to look at if you can believe it. Now, as mentioned, some things are just too big to have in my living room, and this, of course, is one of them. It's an Indiana Jones lenticular. As I move the camera, you can see he cracks the whip. This also came from that same Lego store in England. Really, really cool to have this, and I absolutely love it. Now, this one is also from that same English Lego store. You'll see it's property of Dr. Jones, and nowhere on it does it say anything Lego, but this was in a Lego store in England from that same one I was talking about that Fred helped me get, and I actually have both sides of this. Now, this would have gone around a display. So, you know when you walk in a Lego store and, like, there's the acrylic case and it's on, like, a big yellow table? Well, this would have gone around that yellow table. Speaking of store displays, I have two of them right here. This top one is my more recent edition. This is from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. You'll see that the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is actually just printed on the back. And check out Mutt Williams. He has a different head and the Harry Potter hair. So even the Crystal Skull was photoshopped in there. Indy's head is exactly the same, actually. But obviously that was based on concept art. Like, look at Spalco using a different head and hair. So that's pretty interesting. But as for the set itself, we've got the Jungle Cutter there, as well as the River Chase. And my friend Lars at Bardo Brick in Germany sold this to me. So it was very, very difficult to get from there to the US, but I've got it. And quite possibly my favorite piece in my entire collection is this one right here. This, of course, has the Temple Escape. I just noticed it says Temple Quest here, but the name of the set is Temple Escape. And we also have the Motorcycle Escape here. So this was a store display, and I saw this store display at a Target near my house in 2008. And I didn't spend a lot of time on the internet as a kid, so this is how I realized that we were getting Lego Indiana Jones sets at all. Now, years ago, I was in Pittsburgh, the city where I grew up, and long story short, I found this and bought it there, and I do believe, or have very good reason to believe, this is the one I saw at my Target as a kid. I have a full video on that. Just like I said, if there's stuff in this video you want to see more detail on, I've got it, but it is pretty cool to see two Lego Indiana Jones store displays here, and just such an honor to own these for sure. Kind of along those same lines, in January 2024, I went to my local Barnes & Noble where they had this really cool Indiana Jones store display, of course, for the Dial of Destiny, and all the DVDs went in there, and by the time I got there, there was only 1 or 2 DVDs left, and I asked the manager if I could have the display, and he said, yep, we were just going to throw it away anyways. So I got that, and I'm able to display my boxes for the 2023 sets. And I'm able to display my boxes for the 2023 sets on it, so that actually works out pretty cool. And finally, in my opinion, maybe the craziest thing is my life-size Harrison Ford cutout. I have to move back this far just to get the whole thing in camera. This was from Applebee's in 2023. They ran a promotion where if you spent a certain amount of money, you would get a free pair of tickets to see Dial of Destiny in theaters through Fandango. And, long story short, I drove to an Applebee's about an hour away from my home, and made a donation to their charity that they were running at the time, or partnered with at the time, and they held this for me, and it took forever. I was biting my nails if I would ever actually get it, but I finally did, and it only took about 4 hours of driving, one time there, one time back. Then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, another hour drive down and another hour drive back to get it. But it's so cool, and I absolutely love it. So thank you guys so much for checking this out. I really do need to highlight my collection rooms more. I just don't do it enough. I just focus so much on sets and things like that. There's so many things I'd love to take a look at. So if you guys would like a full collection tour coming very soon, let me know, and be sure to hit like and subscribe. And I wish you all fortune and glory.